Hey Ron, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing a few times. Let that play on through, and we'll put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. What we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at your setup. We're going to take a look at your rotation, your stability, wrist hinge, impact, and your finishing position. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all just take a look at your setup here. Setup looks really good. You've got the ball definitely played forward in your stance, which is great for a driver. We can also see that your spine is angled backwards a little bit, which is great, and it should be for all golf clubs. And because the ball is forward, this will be the situation where your head is the furthest behind the golf ball. So even if you have a wedge in your hand and the ball is supposed to be played, let's say in the middle, you can still see that your head would be positioned behind the ball, even with the ball being played in the middle of your stance. The width of your stance is perhaps a little bit narrow. You could probably widen that right foot a little. And that's just going to be in reference to when I start talking about a power V. You'll see what I mean by that. So let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here. We'll bring up a model swing of Brooke Henderson on the left side of the screen. So we can see a very similar setup, but if we take a look at her stance, see how much wider her stance is. So look at that red line. That red line is already on a greater angle. Okay. So as we take a look at the left side of the screen, what we're going to see is we're going to see that she initiates her takeaway by creating good strong shoulder rotation, hand movement, and arm extension. Okay. So once we get back into this position, what we see between the lead forearm and the golf club, we already see that she's starting to establish some leverage or wrist hinge between the wrist and the club. We can see she's creating rotation. We can see that she's moved off of center a little bit, so her head's moved back, but her right leg has remained very, very stable. That's our pivotal point of the golf swing. At this point in time, what we want to do now is we want to complete that rotation, and now we want to maximize our wrist hinge. So we can see that she's rotating and she's maximizing her wrist hinge. Also at the same point in time, her right leg still has not moved. So at the top here, we want to just sort of take a look at the relationship between the shaft of the club and the forearm, and we can see how acute that wrist position has become at the top of the swing. And this is ultimately what's going to create a lot of power in the golf swing, sort of like a pitcher throwing a ball. If we didn't cock our wrist, we're not going to have any snap. So three things we've got here. We've got good shoulder rotation. We've created that rotation on a very stable axis, the right leg that has not moved. There's no lateral motion. And we've created really, really good wrist hinge. The other thing I want to look at here is I want to look at the red line that I drew on her leg, but I also want to refer back to the blue line that I drew on the outside of her foot. I refer to this V as a power V. And the reason why that's a power V is if we go ahead and we take a look at the upper body and we draw a 90-degree line up from her hip and then another line along her back, we have the exact same V. Okay, so lower body is stabilizing us to the target. We're winding our upper body back behind the golf ball. So this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing. With you on the right side of the screen, watch you initiate your takeaway here. So a little bit of lateral motion right away. You break through your line of your leg, and your head is definitely moving back. Your hands kick in, you get good shoulder rotation. You're remaining very stiff forearmed with the golf club, so we can see that the shaft of the golf club is here with the forearm, so there's not a lot of angle that we're creating. So one of the things you want to do is definitely learn how to create better wrist hinge. As we continue to move this back, we can still see that the forearms are staying very, very rigid with the shaft of the club. There's no hinge. You're getting your rotation. You've recovered back on your lower right leg. Now, if you had a wider stance, we'd actually see some power V. We're not seeing any power V because the stance wasn't wide enough. Because you haven't created any wrist hinge, what we also see is we see a run-on with the arms. So your subconscious brain is telling you, hey, see right now you've completed your rotation, but your subconscious brain is saying, hey, I still have to get the golf club back further. So you over-rotate, and your arms work in behind you. If you created a wrist hinge, you would create club travel, and you wouldn't have to have that excess rotation and let your arms break down. So here we are at the top of the backswing. You got obviously really good turn. You've actually turned more than you need to. You have very good stability in your lower body, but we don't have the power V because the stance wasn't wide enough. And number one thing beyond those two, because you can get away with what you're doing with your shoulders and your leg right now, you just have to learn how to create wrist hinge coming back. Okay? Now, as we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to laterally move and fire to the target with our knees and our hips, and we want to unwind and fire the hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we're posting up on the left leg. So look at her left leg at point of impact. We can see that she's creating this explosion up, okay? And she's moving her weight to her left side. The other thing that I want to point out is that the head is snapping back through impact. This is what I refer to as action-reaction. We're sending all of our energy to the target. We're moving our weight left, our knees are going there, our hips are going there, we're unwinding, our hands are going there, but our head is snapping backwards. This is what I refer to as action-reaction. This creates a lot of whip and a lot of power through impact. With you, as you come into the golf ball, let's watch how you move in. So excellent lower body activity. Feet, knees, and hips are driving to the target. So's the whole body and core. It looks great. Even the head's allowed to move initially. But as the hands keep coming into impact here, your head has to snap backwards. So everything's looking really good right now, but the head is not snapping backwards. Okay, so your left leg posts up, looks really good. You're unwinding. You have a little bit of breakdown, obviously, in your arms here. The club head is starting to lead the hands a little. Okay, whereas with Brooke, if I back it up a frame, she maintains a much straighter line with the, or actually not even just a straighter line, but you can see that it's almost coming backwards like that. So it's a stronger wall through impact. But her head is snapped back. See where her head is relative to the circle that I originally drew on our heads. Your head is forward of that circle. So you don't have your reactional movement through impact. As we drive through to the finish, just want that right heel to keep coming up off the ground, get up on the toe of the right foot. That allows us to complete our golf swing. So let's see how you do with your footwork here. So excellent job. You're getting up on your toe. It's allowing you to finish your golf swing. That looks superb. Overall, you know, there's some really good athletic qualities with respect to your golf swing. Your hands work well. They come back, fire through. You got good coil. You uncoil through to a good finish because you have good footwork. Overall, you know, the number one thing coming back is you have to learn how to create wrist hinge, for sure. And then from there, you could work on your move to impact, where you understand from the top of your backswing what is the signal from here to go hit the ball. I refer to it as the dance move. So we're integrating the feet, the knees, the hips, the core, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the head, and the golf club. And you know, if that's 9 parts, we're synchronizing it all into one harmonious move. Okay? So definitely working on your move to impact and learning that action-reaction would be ideal for you. Okay? Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. If at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, certainly feel free to give me a call. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville and be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, feel free to touch base. All my contact information is at the end of the video. It was also on the screen during the analysis as well. And we can certainly discuss those swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing. And hope you had a great summer and enjoy the rest of your fall.